Hey there friends, it's me, Jenny Nexus, back with another t-shirt cutting tutorial. I keep on getting cool requests for various things, and so I'm going to try to address some of those in this video. Today I just cut this one shirt, and I weaved the back and the front a little bit. One viewer was kind enough to mention that she would prefer me not to do the time lapse, so this one is in real time, and I hope that it's helpful and or enjoyable. I don't always have a lot of time to do these super fun hobbies and crafts, but I really do enjoy them, and I hope that you do as well. Here's what the t-shirt looked like before I cut it. My video recorder cut out while I was cutting the first strands, but I do what I always do, which is fold the t-shirt in half and cut horizontal lines all the way down the back. Part of the joy of these DIY t-shirt cutting projects is that a lot of it is just left to your creative mind and your intuition. Even after all these years, I'm still learning how to do this well and learning new techniques. But I do notice that my style has kind of been refined. I generally like to make the back more see-through while only cutting a little bit on the front. After I cut the slits down the back, on the sleeves, and around the neck, I went ahead and cut some down the front as well. Of course, the lower you go on this, the more revealing it'll be, so keep that in mind. If you're trying to make a more modest shirt for yourself or someone else, just keep in mind that sometimes you might need to wear two shirts if it becomes too revealing by accident. Here I just cut some little slits around the neck for decorative purposes. Depending on how crazy you want to get, you can make as many of these little slits anywhere on the shirt that you like. One thing I'll mention about cutting the shirt is that you don't want to make your strings too thin, because that'll make it more likely for them to fall apart later, either in the wash or while you're wearing it, especially when you are tying them together. If they're a little thicker rather than too thin, they're more likely to stay intact and not fall apart. Since my last videos, I got this cool black mannequin off of Amazon for I think only $40, and it's super helpful for weaving on a figure that's also standing upright. One tip I would say that I didn't do here is that if you have some pins, then it can also help to pin it into place while you're working. Weaving the shirt can be done in a number of ways. This time I started at the bottom and went to the top. You can start at the top and work your way down, or you can start at the bottom and work your way up. Usually I like to do 1 to 3 sets of weaves, so this time I started at the bottom and weaved it to the top, and then I cut the top 2 strings and tied them together at either side. If you haven't learned how to weave the shirt yet, it's really simple, except for it seems difficult in the beginning. What you want to do is just take the first string, whether you're starting at the top or the bottom, take the first one, and then when you grab the second string, pull the whole thing through and weave it through the top string. And just keep doing that all the way down, or up. So when I tied the 2 strings that I cut at the top, I tied them like 3 times. But the more you tie it, the bulkier the knots can get, and that can be annoying. If you're willing to deal with that though, it can become more secure the more you tie it. So then I do the same thing again. This time I start at the top and work my way to the bottom. And then when I get all the way to the bottom, I try to make it more clear this time the way I knot it. I just cut the last string and then I tie it on either side to the string that is the second from the bottom. You just want to make sure that the knots are secure, and whether you're tying it to itself and or another string on it, Okay, so for the 3rd time, I'm going to be weaving the shirt on the back here, and I'm gonna just take the top string, pull the 2nd string through it, so it's like a loop, and then I'm gonna continue down, just like we've done so many times together, friends. Some people get really good at this, and I recommend looking at Pinterest or Instagram for ideas, and creators who do even better a job than I do. I just have so much fun doing it. That's what keeps me making videos, because I want to share the experience with you. But I will admit that I'm probably not the best at this. Maybe not the worst, but there's some people out there that get really good at this stuff, and that was my original inspiration, was to make some really cute shirts like the professionals I see doing. So yeah, when I get to the bottom, I just tie the string, again nice and securely, 2 or 3 times. There are so many ways to go about doing this, friends. So whatever you feel like doing to have fun and hopefully make your shirt even cooler than it was before. Sometimes I think that the shirts looked better before I weaved them and that the cuts would have been just fine the way they are. So maybe I'll do some more shirt videos where I just cut it and I don't even bother to weave it. Sometimes I weave it and it becomes too tight, or it's like too snug on my armpits, or one thing or another. But be sure that you don't use your favorite shirt the first few times you try. Use a shirt that you don't care about so that if you do mess it up, then you won't be too heartbroken. So on the front, basically, I just made the horizontal cuts wider at the top, and then where it comes down in the middle of the cleavage, I just made that a tiny little hole. So once I just weaved it once, I cut the bottom string in half and then looped it through the bottom tiny little hole there and tied it a few times. The knot was a little bit bulky, but not too bad. I thought it was okay. In case you didn't know, I do a lot of live streaming on twitch.tv/JennyNexus, and that's when you can interact with me in person. Even if I'm playing a video game, feel free to ask me about my DIY projects or my channel. I haven't had a lot of time for the t-shirt cutting stuff lately, but I did want to put some time aside before the summer is over, which is any day now, even though it's really sunny. Here, we just moved to Washington about a month ago from California. So I thought it was going to be rainy all the time, but it's actually super hot. So the t-shirt videos, I figured that I would make a few more while it's still nice and sunny outside, and I can model some of these for fun. Cool, friends, so that's pretty much it for this shirt. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and continue to leave me feedback. I love hearing from you, and everyone's been so sweet asking me questions and leaving comments, and I definitely encourage you to share your projects if you finish something that you want to share on my discussion page on YouTube or in a comment on a video. Feel free to advertise your own channel. If you also do crafts, that's okay with me, I don't mind. I appreciate you viewing my videos and all the likes and friendly comments and all that good stuff. Feel free to tag DIY with Jenny if you finish one of your cool t-shirt designs on Instagram or wherever. Would love to see your creations, and hope you have a nice day.